This week on Counsil Customs, I'm going to fix something that I messed up on the truck, which is everything that I've done so far. Should have named the channel Done Twice Garage. Anyway, what we got over here is whenever we did the leveling kit on every one of these trucks that I've had. Can the fly please leave me alone? Every one of these trucks I've had, I've run a leveling kit and I've dealt with the same issue. Your tires go from, well, sometimes I've had them where the tires were leaned in towards the top. You put a leveling kit on them and it brings them up to pretty well straight. Well, this one, they were slightly in at the top, put a leveling kit on it, and they kicked out towards the bottom. So to fix that, here's what we've got. These are camber adjuster upper ball joint bushings. So we need to take the front tires off, get to the upper ball joint, and replace the factory version of this with this one that allows for more articulation. So that's what we need to do. We need to get these in there. While we have it all apart, we'll do a tape measure alignment, show you how I do that, and let's just get after it. It's not going to be fun, but I think I did catch somebody's video online of how to trick it and to get this stuff to all work easier and faster, so we're going to give that a shot. If that doesn't work, that means the entire front end has to come apart. So let's keep going. Now, with the tire off, you can see it way more drastic of how much that kicks down at an angle. With that pointing down like that, that's how your tire wears on the outside edge. Now, I can't answer why. I don't understand. The only thing I can come up with is, okay, let me give you the question, and then I'll tell you of why I say I can't give you why. Whenever you take the load off the front of the truck, you put it onto jack stands, no matter how far out, like right now, the jack stand's at its furthest most out point it can be without sitting it on the brake rotor. What I've come to the conclusion of is if I was to put it on the brake rotor, maybe I can get that last little bit out and it'll be like it normally drives, but it doesn't normally sit with this much camber. Caster, tipping outward, cambers inward, but this much caster ever. I mean, you don't drive down the road looking like that. Literally, it's just whenever you put it on the jack stands, it gets dramatically worse. So that's what we've got to try to fix. I need to pull that out, get as much out of it as I can. Once we get it out, then we can go on to doing a tape measure alignment. All right, so I just did the other side just to fully understand what all we got to do to take this apart. So I need to pull this. I pulled the cotter pin out. Now I'm going to pull this nut off. Once we get that nut off, I'll show you what we're going to do to take this factory keeper off to put the new one in. So with that nut off, there is a flat spot on both sides. Don't mind that. We're going to put a bolt in that while we're here. But there's a flat spot on both sides of this camber bushing. So I picked up a cheap $10 at Harbor Freight puller that I could modify for it to slide. I had to grind both sides just a little bit for it to slide over it. Now I'm going to get this set up into that back corner as best I can. There we go. Now I'm just going to grab a ratchet, put that on there. I don't know how common knowledge this is, but I came up with this a while back, and to put a breaker bar on your ratchet, take a socket that'll slide over the end without much play. Some play's fine, but without much play, and a long extension. Boom. Throw that on there. Here we go. Now the other route, if you don't get lucky enough for these to work, is you got to disassemble the whole knuckle to try to get these out. So $10 buying this puller and modifying it where this is now what its job is for life. You'll see here in a moment, but we modified a wrench to fit as well. But I had 2 of these wrenches. So modifying a wrench, I had 2 of the Pittsburgh. I've got another one that's Craftsman. So literally I've got 3 of them that are 26s. I didn't mind destroying one. 26 is not the size. It's just the size that I used to modify. But making a wrench for that and this saves me disassembling the whole front end, and I can put it with my alignment tools for the front end of this truck. I'd say it's worth it. There we go. That's the old one, and as you can see, there's literally just 2 ways it goes in. That's it. And really it only has 1 way that goes in. So that's your old one, and here's the new. And this obviously has a lot more adjustment. This turns all the way around, giving you more adjustment in it. But from what I figured on the other side, these 2 keyways are opposite of each other for my application. And then push this in. That right there should do it. What I did was move the ball joint to the furthest most back point that I could, which will bring the caster in to where we're flat. So now, like I said, I've got this wrench that I modified. I have one corner that's really tight. I can put that corner right down here. I can take this nut, put it back on. All I'm trying to do is keep the adjustment down there from spinning. So those are in. I'm pretty sure that it's set where I need it. I won't know until I get the truck back down on its own weight. Move it back and forth a couple times, turn the wheels around, and see how it does. All right, so I came up with that you can buy these, but I decided to make my own. It's angle iron. I punched some holes in it so you can measure across, and we're gonna measure from side to side, figure out what our toe is. Toe is how much your tires are pitched inward or outward. They need to be inward by like a 1/16 of an inch. And right now I could tell you by looking, this one's coming forward and this one's coming forward. Like they're both pitched out, which is opposite of what you want. You want them to both be kind of pitched inward just a hair. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a tape measure, and my wife's gonna grab a tape measure. We're gonna put one on each, the front and the back, so I can measure across, get that, and I can tell what I need to tighten on our tie rods in the front, so I can figure all that out. So right now we're at 69 inches on the front and 67 and 7/8 on the rear. So it needs to come in the front, which is obviously going to throw us out the back. So I need to come in about 1/2 inch, so a little over 1/2 inch. Now the steering wheel is straight, so you got to do it a little bit on each side. So we got to do like a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there to get our overall. So now I need to loosen here and here so that way I can put a pipe wrench on this and tighten it. I'm gonna measure across from here to here so that way whenever we tighten it up, I know how much it tightened. So let me get the wrenches and everything so I can tighten this up. All right, so I'm gonna loosen these two keepers. So those are both loose. Now, it is from the start of threads to the start of threads on both ends. Right now, we've got 7 inches on the dot. So if I'm wanting to take a 1/2 inch out of here, remember you're further out here than you are in here. So I'm probably only going to take like a 1/4 inch total, maybe just a hair more. So I need to spin down, will tighten. So in the front, we got 68 3/8, and on the back, we got 68 1/2. So that right there should be your 1/16 of toe in. So now I can go ahead and lock these down, and we can take off the little pieces, put the tires back on, and see what that does. I think while the tires are off, I'm going to go ahead and throw them on the balancer and just give them a check, see what they're at. If they need to be rebalanced, then we'll rebalance them real quick. So see what we can get done. Try to get a quick little video before the rain starts, but now the tire doesn't lean out towards the top on either side. They're nice and square all the way around. The only issue I have right now, grease. The only issue I have right now is whenever I did the alignment, it drives down the road perfectly straight, but the steering wheel is slightly off-centered, as you can see. Driving, it's about right there. So now I'm going to pull it back in and put the truck back to straight and play with it and get the steering wheel back straight, which isn't much, which it never was perfectly straight to start with. So part of my whole thing was I wanted to fix that. So now let me back up. I want to try to get as straight of a shot with the tires flat on the ground, because twin I-beam, they kind of move around a little bit. So that is right there. That's straight. So now what I'm going to do is turn the wheel where it gets even. And now I can go out there, straighten one side, and do the other. And with these wheels, I should be able to measure straight across. With the larger diameter wheel, I should be able to measure from wheel to wheel and get a measurement to make sure that I land straight on the front without taking the tires and everything off. All right, so the other night I got the steering wheel. It's pretty freaking close to straight. It's not perfect. I'm not an alignment shop. I'm just a guy messing with my truck in his garage. Now, I did come to a stop that night and didn't work on it any further because I was laying on the ground under there using a pipe wrench to adjust everything, laying on a creeper, and the pipe wrench slipped and it hit me on the side of the head here, and then this side of my head bounced off the metal pointy corner of the creeper. So I was a little pinball machine, bang, 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 back and forth, and it rocked my crap. So I just went ahead and got everything where I was pretty freaking close to happy with it and just moved on because I rocked my world that day and I just needed to go sit down for a little bit. So it's not dead nuts perfect on the steering wheel. It's pretty close. I mean, if perfectly centered is here, it's like that. It's just barely off, which is better than it was before. No, it's not perfect. I can keep playing with it and getting it perfect, but that's for another day. We solved the problems we were out looking for. The truck is not twitchy going down the road like it was. It might have had a poor alignment already. I had never put this truck on an alignment machine or done a tape measure alignment for myself. The only thing I had done to the suspension is add the leveling kit, and I know that that throws your tires out. Like, passenger side would kick out, this side would kick out, so they're both kind of V'd towards the center. So that's now fixed. As you can see, tire sits flat over here, tire sits flat. I know I'm shooting this at dark and not in the middle of the day where you can see a little bit better, but in conclusion, it feels a lot better, it drives a lot better, it's not twitchy going down the road. This was excellent. If you are dealing with your tires kicking out towards the top, do it. Do it. Absolutely do it. This will help solve your problem. If it doesn't completely solve it, it'll at least get you a hell of a lot closer than what you were. They weren't that expensive. I think because I have the four-wheel drive option and I'd searched around and I found the ones that I found, they're the same ones that are sold by Bronco Graveyard. And I think whenever you buy like BDS suspension, it's an option for the camber adjusters or something along those lines. It's an option to go ahead and get those with your lift kit. I did find a lot of other cheaper options, like $20 ones. These were like $50. They have a little bit more adjustment to those, and these are the exact ones you'd buy from all those brands. I found them on Amazon instead of buying them through Bronco Graveyard, because Bronco Graveyard had them on back order. I was able to find them through Amazon and get them next day to me. So would I do it again? Absolutely. I wish I'd have done this to all my trucks in the past that I've done the leveling kits and had the same issue on. I wish I'd have done it a lot sooner. If I'd have known about it a lot sooner, I would have. So this is trying to help spread awareness, I guess. Hey, you don't have to drive around with your tires kicked. They do sell an option to solve that. So we've got a lot of things coming on the channel. I know y'all are probably getting sick and tired of seeing the Bronco. The chicken ranch is going to be coming back that's what we're jumping into next week. We're getting back on the chicken ranch. Let's get that truck dialed in. Let's get the last couple little things that I want to get done, because I got a big project that I want to jump on, and I think you all will like it. If you don't, come back whenever I get done with it. But appreciate y'all watching. See y'all next week.